strategies?
Yeah, they have one.
Shatoria.
I literally just came in to be myself, and I was like, if people like me, then great. If people don't like me, then also great. You know, both welcome.
So coming out now, do you think people like you?
I'm sure there's a bit of both.
Right.
You know, I think it's inevitable. I don't think it's possible for the whole world to like me, you know, but like I said, I welcome both. People who don't like me, I think they probably have good reasons why they don't. People who like me, I'm sure they have good reasons too.
Interesting. So coming out now, which housemate do you think has the strongest strategy?
Excuse me, I think I'm Doublekay because
Okay.
that was a shocker when I found out they were married. Because they kept saying they're friends in the house and there was nothing going on. So coming out to find out they're married, I'm like, oh my god. Strategy is crazy.
Yeah, and yeah, speaking of Doublekay, you and Kelly Ray, that whole party day, what is up that day?
There's nothing going on between me and Kelly Ray, and from my point of view, it was just the house. Nothing was going on in the house. Let me do something to just shake the house off a bit, just the way we did with Mayo and Trinidad Restoration. So that was it for me. And then I wanted to get a reaction from Cassie. I'm like, oh, you guys say you're friends, but I see a connection. Let me just see what it is, and that was it for me. There was nothing there with me and Kelly at all.
Okay, so week 1, in fact not even week 1, day 1, your sister started a ship. How come you didn't start a ship? Like no guy for that house will pick your interest, or what was it?
Nothing of sorts. It's just that maybe I was not going to the house to look for a ship, and maybe like you said, maybe no guy got my attention, but it was just what it is. I just decided to go with the flow, and that just happened.
Okay. Shaun, let's talk about you and Victoria. What happened in week 1 and week 2? There was just this huge disconnect that both of you could not even pretend. Something was so off between you guys. Like the Shatoria pair, everyone was like, what was happening? You guys came in as like kings and queens, because I was there for the launch show, right? And I saw how you guys are looking absolutely gorgeous. The energy was incredible. And then you guys entered the house and everything else went down. Why?
I think maybe it was more, to be fair, I don't know, I haven't spoken to her in depth about it because obviously you've been on the show, so I'm sure certain conversations couldn't have happened. But on my end, I think we argued a bit before we got in, and I think I needed a little bit of space, just a little bit of space, but I didn't know, obviously we were getting space in the house, like you're going to also do with being in a new environment with different people, cameras everywhere, so everyone's adjusting while getting space, so the distance was not necessarily so I leave her to be by herself, but more I just needed to breathe, but while breathing I also needed to build connection, because again, and the first 3 weeks it was the custodian.
Yeah.
So it was your housemates that were going to vote you out. So if you didn't build any connections, people feel like they don't know you and they'll put you up, and because we don't know what's happening on the outside, nobody's really relying on, let me wait to see if I have any fans or whatever. It's more about the people in the house have your fate in their hands if they're custodian, that they can pick for you to leave or not, whether you're big or not. So I think it just naturally happened like that. She struggled in the first 2 weeks because just adjusting to everything. I struggled as well, but I knew I had to kind of be strong for the both of us because we were doing it. We came together, we leave together. They don't evict us one-on-one. So that's kind of what it was. It wasn't really anything intentional, but it just had a cookie crumble down. Victoria's not necessarily the most expressive person. She's not necessarily the best person at communicating either. And I'm not the person who is the best at consoling either. So those two combinations at that point is like a recipe for disaster.
It was. Because watching Victoria struggle a lot, because you were having a great time. You built instant connection with Wani and Handi and with some of the guys in the house, and then there was Victoria, and everyone was like, what's happening? And then even during you guys' diary session, within they saw, both of you would just be there, and you know, you guys have the screen time when you are having your diary session, and even the screen time is like, what is going on? Was it something that you guys could not just trash out, even though you guys had to talk in the toilet or something?
I don't even think it was a specific issue, because I don't think she knew. For me, it was just more the energy. I'm like an energy person, and it felt that first week, it felt like she was draining my energy. Not intentionally on her end though. I just think she was going through whatever she was going through. So when I'm near her, I feel like my energy being drained, and my energy needed to be high to build connection so we can last in this house. So it was like a double-edged sword. If I go and stay and I console you, it will kind of look like, obviously we don't know if Doublekay was married or whatever, but Doublekay were in their own little bubble at the beginning. I didn't want it to be like that because I'm just like, why would it come here and we'll just stick to ourselves? We need to build connection. So it was a tough one to handle. And I know people think that I was living my life, enjoying myself. Yeah, that was maybe a part of it, but obviously the person maybe who was smiling the most and looks the happiest, probably you would assume that, oh yeah, the person doesn't care. But internally, I struggled that week one because Victoria's emotions, Wani's emotions, my own emotions, I had to do it. But I also understand that people are not necessarily going to see through that. They'll just see, oh, I'm feeling distressed. This person is crying. I wasn't crying, so they're like, oh, well, you know, Shaun is fine, he's having the best time ever. But I struggled. I didn't know I had to be strong. But I think it is what it is. You know, all in all, it worked out for her in the end because she's still here and you know, if things didn't go that way, we probably won't be a different story.
All right. Okay, so Handi, the first time I saw you cry was, I think you were complaining to Wani that you were feeling neglected, and you were just crying. Wani said crying. Me that was watching, I'm like, oh my god, I want twins. Oh my god, because what was that twin telepathy? I didn't know what was going on, but something was happening.
Yeah, I think she did feel my pain, and like she understood how I felt coming into the house with her as a duo. And I didn't know she was going to like connect with somebody that fast, and I just like felt like I was left out. And then after I spoke to her about it, it was fixed, and I did feel comfortable. And then I did start a friendship with Shaun, and it became very amazing.
Yeah. Okay, speaking about your friendship with Shaun, when your sister has issues with Shaun, the way I see it is like you're always in the middle, confused, because of course Shaun is your friend, Wani is like your better half, and it's like, what do I do? What don't I do? How is those moments for you?
Sometimes it can be quite, I want to say confusing, because when I hear the story, I'm very unbiased, and I tell her, oh, I think you've fucked up, like I say that, and I go to her and say, I think you went wrong. So we just try to settle it as unbiasedly, as a word, as I can. That's how it goes.
Okay, because there are other couple sometimes that you would tell your sister, and whatever thing you have with this person right now, just end it, because
no, I never told her end it. I say look into it, especially about that thing in the kitchen. I'm like, if this disrespect is going to go on, because it's like, I said, it's progressively getting worse than it was, because before it was just like indoors, and now it's becoming public. So you should watch it, and if it goes on like this, I think you shouldn't be in such a situation, because I had something like that in my last relationship, and it just like reminded me of that bad experience. I'm like, oh, it's kind of what I went through, and I don't want you to go through it, so you should watch it. If it goes on like this, then you should end it. Why didn't say end what you have with this person?
You know, because the way we perceived it was like, you are looking out for your sister, which is the most important. So whatever phrase you used at that point, it was more like, you deserve better, and if this is not working, come out of it.
Yeah, of course, exactly what I just said. If it's not working at this point, you should look away.
Shaun, your issues with Wani, sometimes your gesticulation can be like provocative. Why do you do that?
I don't think it's maybe intentional. I don't see myself. I can't see myself mirroring how I look. You know, so only the person who's on the receiving end can see how I look.
Because you literally go to her face and you talk fast, and then even me, I go increase the volume because I want to hear what you're saying with your accent, and all I can see is your hand movements. And you know, because it's Big Brother house, if she like does whatever and hits your hand, it could go anyway. At some point we were like, why is Shaun doing this? Why is he doing this? And now I'm asking.
Yeah, I don't think it was intentional. I think that's be certain moments where I'm more passionate about
what you're saying, what you're trying to pass.
But also understand, like, it's never going to be equal. There are many times where on her end, very animated, she's an animated person. You know, so her hands may be flinging. Nobody really cares about her hands because she's a woman, and I'm taller and bigger, I'm stronger. So if I do half of what she's doing, I know it can be perceived a certain type of way, and I'm accepting of that. It's never going to be, oh yeah, this person does it and that person does it. But I also know that I'm not perfect, so it's something maybe I'll look back and see, like, how do I look when I'm maybe emotionally charged or whatever the case is. Because I've never looked back and watched myself be angry or be upset or whatever. So maybe something I'll look back and see, okay, maybe I'll try and improve in that.
Okay, that's nice. So yeah, back to Victoria, right? The week that the Flourish pair, they were evicted with the Streets pair, you guys were asked to come into the diary session, into the diary room and nominate. And Victoria called out another name, which is like the Radicals, and you were like, no, Flourish. And you were like, that is it. That, like, it was more like you were not giving her an opportunity to also express whatever pair she wants. Then you guys will not come to a conclusion. That's one. Also, when you guys were heads of house, you guys did not really come to a conclusion of who to choose as guests. So it was more like you choosing, you speaking for the team. Do you think that was like a little bit overshadowing?
So I think obviously they don't show everything with the guests. We spoke about it way before. Because we really, obviously, me and Wani started in week 1. So we had the conversation about what if, actually, because she didn't have anything going on with anybody, she was like, yeah, she was cool with Wani and Handi as well. So it was fine. I didn't need to have that conversation in the moment because we already had the conversation in the past. Maybe my choice of words when I said I instead of we. For me, I just felt like Wani and Handi are mine. Do you know what I mean? It was just like you know when, I don't want to describe it in a weird way, but you know when something belongs to you, it doesn't belong to you, I don't own any of them, but I felt like I'm so protective of them, so I just said I as an instinct, not in a way where we didn't speak about it. But